the accountant, he's good with numbers, but his social skills are off, right? That's just, yeah, autism is very much like that. A lot of times they'll be good with numbers, they'll be good with writing. It's a hypersensitivity or a hyper ability in something and lower ability in other things.
Hello and welcome to the Brothers Random Show. My name is Travis.
And I'm Michael.
And we are two ordinary brothers discussing extraordinary ideas and some random shit. Michael, why are we here?
Today we are discussing The Accountant. We did a review of the trailer for The Accountant 2, which is coming out in April. And we wanted to review the first one.
You're different. Sooner or later, different scares people. Yeah. You think if you don't fight back, then maybe they'll like you. Stop picking on you, calling you a freak. Victim or not, make a decision.
Your son is a remarkable young man. It wouldn't surprise me if he has more in common with Einstein, Mozart, and Picasso than he does with us. He has highly advanced cognitive skills. The obsessive personality.
Can our son lead a normal life?
Define normal.
Say you're the head of the Sinaloa cartel. Who can you trust to track your stolen cash? He's capable of coming in cold, uncooking years of books, and getting out alive. Imagine the secrets this guy has.
Who are you?
As a math savant uncooks the books for a new client, the Treasury Department closes in on his activities and the body count starts to rise. It's a 2016 film. This movie stars Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, and J.K. Simmons, as well as John Barenthal and Cynthia D. Robertson. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor. So essentially, Ben Affleck plays a accountant who works for shady people, and then he sometimes leaks information to the Treasury Department in the United States, and sometimes that gets him in trouble. And he's heavily trained, so he's kind of like an assassin as well. So,
well, and you find out through this film that he's autistic, and I think in the sense because of his autism, his father, who was military, and they traveled around all over, he would push and like put him through training. It shows him doing training to kind of help him rein in and control his condition, as they put it.
So I remember not being very impressed with this film to begin with when I first saw it. So I never really saw it again. But when the sequel trailer came out, the sequel trailer looks great. And so we decided
even the sequel gives spoilers. So, or the sequel trailer gives spoilers. Yeah. So you, like, audience, if you're watching this, don't watch the trailer until you've seen the film, the first one, because it will give away things. Yeah.
And before we get into our spoiler section, just overall thoughts on this movie.
It's funny that we keep reviewing films that are slow burns. But this is a slow burn. Like, strap in for some character study, some story development, and things like that.
There isn't a lot of action, even though it's considered an action film.
Yeah, they do have some pretty good action. I felt like the action was good, well executed,
but not on the level of like John Wick.
Not exactly like super memorable.
Yeah.
It kind of, I guess the action just kind of lacked a little bit of flair to it, for whatever reason. Yeah. Like you mentioned, John Wick, just the gunplay in John Wick just screamed to be memorable. This was a little bit less on that. I think there was a few good. I liked the scene with the old folks on their farm. There are a few scenes that I did enjoy. I thought were well done, but overall, I actually forgot most of this movie when I first saw it.
Yeah,
but I was so excited about it's kind of forgettable.
Unfortunately,
when I saw the trailer for the sequel, it made me want to go back and revisit it, and I actually liked it more the second time around. Oddly, maybe just because I'm older. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why I liked it more the second time.
I have a theory about this. Because the state of Hollywood currently, I think we enjoyed it more the second time around because this movie 8 years ago was a subpar movie. But if this movie were to come out now, it's a great movie because we are so lacking in good movies nowadays.
Yeah. Well, and no wokeism. The female love interest didn't have to be a girl boss. Even like though she was strong and even though she had no training, it does show two guys try to take her out, and she does some awesome
stuff to get them to keep them away.
One off of her, and then to keep one out of the bathroom where she locks herself in. So no spoilers there, but like she fights, as much as humanly possible, and liked that. Like but it wasn't. All of a sudden she picks up a gun and can't do no wrong, and she just blah blah blah, and
she starts taking guys out that are like twice her size and stuff like that. That's
beating up.
Yeah. It's just
with
not
her 120 pounds. She's beating up.
She's not even like Anna Kendrick is tiny. She's probably 100 pounds soaking wet. Like she's like she's like short and Anyway, let's get into spoilers. Spoilers now. This movie does a lot of I don't know what's a good saying for it, but it like shows people in their element. It shows Ben Affleck doing things in his home and his trailer. You see that he's got like some really rare art because that's how some of these shady people pay him after he's cooked their books, and stuff like that. Just like it does a lot of this, like how he lives. It shows him like dealing with his autism, where he's like trying to do sensory deprivation of some kind. I don't know. Is that a thing among autistic people? I don't know. I have no idea.
So autistic people will have sensory troubles, and I think what it's showing is he's trying to overcome those sensory things with his system. He's got a system.
He's got a system of some kind.
He's trying to overcome that, and that is part of the system is to overcome his sensory troubles, because a lot of autistic people will have like certain sheets that or certain fabrics that just rub them the wrong way, and they can't handle it. Certain foods, like they have certain foods that just texturally like go into their mouth and they can't do it. Like they just can't. So so there's a lot of things. And they obviously they did their research on this, and they did a good job. I feel like they did a good job with the autism, showing the autism in this.
One of the complaints I saw when it first came out is that a lot of people were saying like autistic people aren't like killers and all this kind of stuff, and he kills people just without remorse. And it's like, yeah, but this is a movie. This is meant to like have some suspension of disbelief. You're supposed to do a little bit of that. So I mean, I don't know. I hardly know anything about autism. It didn't seem to me to be completely off base when I first saw it, or when I saw it for a second time.
I know a little bit more about autism, and there were a lot of things that I felt like were on par. There's a few things, like it shows a part where he has a system. When he starts a job, when he starts a project, he wants to finish that project. And
he has a hard time not finishing it.
He has a hard time. What happens is in the film, there's a throw off where the company that he was supposed to find out the problem in their books asks him to stop. And
because he's digging too deep, like they didn't think he would find the problem in their books, and now all of a sudden he's
finding the problem, and anyway, and that's part of the plot of the film is that there's shady stuff going on in this company. There's $16 million that has like disappeared, and he's starting to find out like that money was disappearing, and then they ask him to stop, right? And that throws off his whole system. And it shows him being thrown off because it shows when his system of like going home, he pulls into the garage.
Yeah, that was a great part.
It was really good. It was really good.
Because when he goes into the garage initially,
the first
time, he almost hits the garage door opening,
but like flawlessly. He just like he knows right when to pull in, right where to stop.
So when they tell him to stop looking into the books, the company, because he's finding stuff that they don't want him to find, that throws his system off, and so he can't let it go. Like he doesn't want to let it go, and so he keeps digging, and then they decide to put a contract out on him to get rid of him because they don't want him.
Yeah,
and this is where the brother kind of comes in. They call and we don't. The movie tries to have these reveals, but you've already guessed it. So the movie has these flashbacks with the brothers and their semi-abusive father and their mother who's not available. So who
left them.
Who left them.
Yeah.
And the father isn't completely abusive. He's putting them in traumatic situations, but you don't see him slap them around.
Yeah.
In fact, when Ben Affleck's Christian, his character is having this meltdown, he actually holds him to try to stop the meltdown rather than beating him or anything like that. So there is this weird, like, semi-abusive, maybe not abusive, maybe traumatic, but not I don't know where to kind of place all that, because he's putting these boys through hardships, which I'm not opposed to doing, but like, how far is too far?
And it shows in a scene where he's got a trainer that's kind of roughing him up.
Yeah, roughing him up. Yeah.
And then he tells the trainer he's like, they've had enough for one day, and he tells the trainer to keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
so it's like,
yeah.
So is it really where's that line? When you're seeing the flashbacks, you already kind of know that John Baratheon's character is his brother. They couldn't decide on whether to have it be a twist or not. Because why show all the stuff with the brother and then show this new character show up?
Never see the brother again.
Yeah.
But then you've got this other character that's on the other side.
John Barenthal's character gets hired to get rid of him and everybody involved. So this is where the movie gets murky, because already that they're brothers. Because they've spent so much time with the flashbacks when they're children.
Yeah. But the biggest tell was when John Barenthal is hired out by this big business owner, and the big business owner has spoken to Ben Affleck's character, Christian Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
He, which I thought was an interesting name. Christian.
They're aliases, though. You don't really ever know their real names, I don't think.
But he, I don't think they use their real names, but Ben Affleck character, and he calls him a freak, and John Barenthal is like, whoa. And so he had probably lived so long with his brother being called a freak that when he heard that, it kind of, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy?
Accountant. Who's this accountant?
This accountant. And you start to see him put it together that his nemesis in this situation is actually his brother. And I thought that was great. Like I felt like they did that very, very, I thought they did it well. Like they played that out fairly well.
So do you want to talk a little bit about the ending? So Ben Affleck's character as a child gets sent to this special school and for autistic kids. And it's revealed that there's a girl who's barely functioning at this school.
And you see her
at the beginning of the movie. And then they don't do anything. And then throughout the movie, there's a person with a British accent that he calls to help him. It's kind of like
every so often, and
it's his guy in the chair. It's his guy. It's his guy in the chair. His tech person who calls him and tells him he's got a new identity or whatever. You know, the thing that is the regular trope in these kind of movies. And then it's revealed that it's the same girl. And
it talks to him through the computer. I thought it was a good reveal. Like I thought it was fun. You know, you don't know who's on the other side of this phone calls that keeps talking to him with this British accent.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's not even her talking. She's nonverbal. She's nonverbal.
Autistic nonverbal. But she's obviously got brilliant. She's kind of brilliant because she knows her way around a computer. You like that reveal? You don't find it I thought it was good. I mean, you had a problem with it?
I don't know if it stretches credulity. It doesn't feel real. Like I guess it could happen kind of thing, but I guess I don't know that for certain because I'm not around anybody autistic. So I just felt like it was a little hard to believe, I guess is the, because she seems just unable, but then it's funny because she like focuses when she sits down to the computer, you all of a sudden see her focus and she's not hitting stuff. Like at first you see her like kind of hitting her head and doing.
Nope. There's a gal that I saw her video where she was completely nonverbal, but they taught her to use a computer and she started writing books.
No kidding.
Yeah. Straight up.
This is completely.
It's
feasible.
Right. Oh yeah. It's right there.
100%.
100%. Yep.
Crazy.
True story. This girl was nonverbal, autistic. She started writing books, and I think she was talking to authors through email. So she became pen pals with
authors, but people. She was completely on nonverbal. Yeah, but she couldn't talk to you in person. That's wild. That's wild to think about.
Couldn't even I don't think she'd ever even mumbled a word, but she could type. Write. She could write out. So then that's autism. Their brains they're usually high functioning in something, which is what's shown with the accountant. He's good with numbers.
He's really good with numbers.
Really good with numbers. But his social skills are off, right? Autism is very much like that. A lot of times they'll be good with numbers. They'll be good with writing.
Tech in
usually
some way.
They'll find something that they are like really
100% into,
good at. Yeah. And I've heard people say that autism it's not a condition. It's a hypersensitivity or a hyper ability in something and lower ability in other things. So usually Usually it's a lower ability in social
skills.
Yeah, social aspects.
Uh-huh.
Just socially, they don't read the room like other people. This is why I don't know if we want to get into this, but this is why a lot of people are very, very concerned about the transgender movement.
Oh, yeah,
being because these girls or boys, sometimes they are
tend to be
on
autistic.
the spectrum of autism, and literally just for the fact that they are on the spectrum, they don't kind of fit in and get social the social mores, and that they
the gender
are
social mores.
They are very easily susceptible to suggestions of like transgenderism. And that a lot of people are really really concerned with that.
So to you, this movie's kind of on point with all this.
I think so.
Even though it's like a little fantastical that they're killing people and that they've got these secret lives and stuff like that. But
I feel like the autism stuff was on point. I really do. Like, and I'm not going to get into it. But I have family members who are autistic, and so I know my way a little bit around some of this.
Yeah.
And and I felt like it was very good. Like, there's a scene where Ben Affleck is talking with Anna Kendrick, and Anna is kind of
she's trying to chat him up.
She's trying to be nice and chat with him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just not really getting the small talk. He's just like why are we talking? This is common.
I love the scenes where he actually says, and I don't often say that Ben Affleck is a good actor, but there's this scenes where he like says to people, "Have a good day," but he says it in a way that isn't like natural to him.
Yep.
He's saying it as somebody told him, "You need to say this.
You need to say this."
Yes.
Yes.
And so he's
that
like,
is exactly
so he's always putting out that he's always like, "Have a good day." Like, and then he like goes back to like, it's almost like
forced.
It's forced. Exactly.
He has to force himself, and straight up, that is how it is. Like, the autistic people, they won't get why they're supposed to say "have a nice day." They just know that it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
And so they kind of do it. Like,
but it's played beautiful with Affleck. Like,
Affleck did a great job. I think he did a good job of that.
I don't see him as a great actor even, but that is a great acting moment. Like, because you kind of understand that. You're like, oh, he's just saying that because he's been told to say that by like a teacher or somebody, like, so that he kind of fits in a little bit better. But you can tell that it's just like, I don't know why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
It's very well done on his end because you kind of see it in his face. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I was going to kind of finish this thought when his whole system is thrown off because he couldn't finish a project. Everything gets thrown off
in his life.
Okay. That is very common. Like, very common. Some little thing is just off a little bit, and autistic people, it will throw off everything. Now everything doesn't work.
Would you say they can't handle the chaos of everyday life? Because that is like everyday life. You can plan out your life, but it's very like it's very well put. It's very well put in the film when he's doing a puzzle and he's missing a puzzle piece. Mm-hmm.
He's a kid. He's doing the puzzle and he's missing the puzzle piece, and he starts to have a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
They try to kind of show this. He's got a puzzle and there's a piece missing now because they didn't let him finish his job. And now everything is off. It all kind of falls apart. Everything's off.
They send people to try to kill him. They send people to try to kill Andrew Kendrick's character. Through the whole thing, there's J.K. Simmons, who is a Treasury agent, along with the the woman. So her character's name is Medina, and she's like this new recruit that he got, and he occasionally gets tips from the accountant to go after these shady organizations. And he brings her in, and because he's retiring, and he's like, you're gonna take this mantle on. And she's like, this isn't 100% legal, like this isn't on the up and up, and like, this guy, who is this guy, and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, don't even try to figure this out. So
he sometimes helps me find the bad guys.
So,
kind of if you think about it, it's a little bit like Batman and Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Which I'm there for. I thought that was fine. Obviously, they're going to expand on that dynamic in the sequel.
Yeah. So the sequel comes out in April. Is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
It is kind of funny that the trailer for the sequel spoils the first one.
Yeah.
I think that the audience should check out the first one. I felt like it was worth the watch.
I wouldn't say that this is a great movie. This is an okay movie. There were things that I wish they had done. So there's a part in it where they find it like a huge Gatling gun, machine gun in his house when they raid his house, when the Treasury Department raids his house. And it would have just been awesome if they had actually used that gun. Like, there's hints at a more expensive movie in this movie, but it's almost like they were hamstrung by the budget or something like along those lines. I could have used at least one memorable action scene that would have put this on, up on top. Because as it is now, there's not a lot memorable about it. You even admitted that you had forgotten most of this movie after seeing it. So,
yeah.
So I'm hoping that the sequel, when it comes out, is actually that actually has memorable action sequences and actually, pulls off some cool things. So we'll see. Check us out on social media, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Sword in the Skull.
If you liked this video, then you are the audience we are looking for.
And in the meantime, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, learn more.
For more random shit, check out these videos.